when you come in, like your task to you, how many new leads you have, how many open leads, how many buyer inbox, how many unread messages that you have. One thing that's super important is if you guys are not paying attention to this, is I highly recommend keeping an eye on this number. This is basically tells you any lead that you have in your pipeline that is being abandoned, meaning a lead would be abandoned if you don't have any drip assigned to it, if you don't have any task assigned to it, or if you have any leads that have no drip and no pending tasks. So for us in our company, we want to make sure there's only leads in dead leads that are abandoned. Basically anything we move over to dead lead, we're not working on those, so those we're fine being abandoned. Anything else, it either needs to have a drip campaign or it either needs to have a pending task. If it doesn't have a drip and it doesn't have a pending task, that means nobody's working on it. So think about it. If you have a lead sitting in your warm leads, you don't have a drip campaign, you don't have a pending task, that means no one is working on it. There's no accountability at that point where somebody is going to work on that lead. So you really want to make sure you have, either you put the lead on a drip or you put the lead on a task. And this is real time. So if you go in, you update a lead, and let's say you only have one task assigned to a lead, you go ahead and update that lead, and that lead no longer has a task assigned to it, will show up here. So you want to make sure this is something you keep an eye on daily basis. We also email this information out to you, to the main account holder, and then also your team if you want, just so that you have at the end of the day or beginning of the day, kind of what happened in your business previous day. So really important, if you guys are not paying attention to this, is to keep looking into abandoned leads. And I want to make a quick update that's going to be going live in every account is the seller appointment KPI. It will all become clickable tomorrow. I have it in my test account. So if you are going on appointments, whether it's in-person appointment, phone appointment, drive-by, all of this data will become clickable. So you can click right here and see how many in-person appointment each person had, how many were kept, how many were not kept, how many they have an answer. So you can click on this and actually go into that particular lead that you have. So this is going live tomorrow. And then you'll also be able to filter for a particular time period. So if you want to filter for a specific time period, let's say all the appointments that you had for last month, you can do that. It shows you the data for that. So another important thing to keep an eye on, the appointments that you're going on, to see kind of how your appointments are going. Hey, John, you had a question?
Yeah, so I had a question about the offers. Do they show up on the end of day report? If we've previously made an offer on a property and then we go back and we increase the offer, does that show up as a new offer on the end of day report, or will that show up, or will it not show up at all?
It does. I'm pretty sure it does show up. So if you go into one of the leads and you add an offer, then it shows up into your email that you get, the daily email that you get. So daily email will show you all the appointments that you had for the appointment that you have upcoming for the day, offers that you made, and then any abandoned leads that you had. And there's a bunch of other information that it shows in there. But it should, if it doesn't, let me know. Then I can talk to my team and about adding that. But I'm pretty sure it does show that data. Okay.
And then if you make multiple offers on the same lead, it doesn't change on your KPI, on your marketing sheet, correct? It won't say that you've made 3 offers. For example, if I have 101 offers,
correct. It just counts that one offer. Yeah, in the KPI, it will only count it as one offer. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, each property you can maximum basically have one offer that it counts against that property.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. And in this KPI sheet, you can set your goals for the year, how many deals you want to do, how much revenue you want to generate, and how much net income you want to generate. And I'll get into it why, you really want to pay attention on some of these numbers like ROI and stuff. And right here, it'll track what's the marketing channel that you're getting most of your deals from, what's the marketing channel that's giving you the best ROI, your cost per lead, cost per deal, how much money you spent in marketing, how much revenue you've generated, and what's your ROI. ROI is every dollar that you put into marketing, how much money is coming back. So for me in this test account, for every dollar that I put in, I'm making $13.14 on my overall marketing spend. So really important, if there was one number that you really wanted to keep an eye on, I would say marketing ROI. For most real estate investors that are doing consistent deals, their biggest expense would be marketing. or payroll. Generally, marketing tends to be the biggest expense that real estate investors have. And if you can, that for every 1x that you can add to your marketing, it goes directly into your net income. So really important to keep an eye on your marketing ROI. So that's, and then you can see your lead and deal flow for last 12 months. So you can hover on it, see how many leads you had in last month, how many appointments, offers, and deals. What are your top lead sources? Where you're getting most of your leads from? Marketing ROI, revenue versus spend. And then this is a very high level. If you want to dig deeper into it, you can go into the marketing tab. It just breaks down every single campaign that you're doing in your business. So these are all the marketing types that I'm doing. I can see for direct mail, I spent $8,500 and made $111,000, but I can see for every single campaign. So it shows me for probate list, I spent $2,500, I made $10,000. So my ROI is $4. Every dollar that I spend, I'm making $4. But if I look at the other marketing campaign, I only spent $6,000, but I made $101,000. So my ROI on that is $17, almost $17. So that's kind of how you want to start looking at your KPI. For every dollar that you're putting in, how much money you're making, how much money you're making into that. So especially as we're in more regulated environment with SMS, the incoming lead is going to start becoming more important. Inbound lead marketing channels, your PPC, paper lead, your direct mail is going to start becoming more important depending on the market. If you're doing TV ads, radio ads, so you really want to start looking into, for every dollar that you're putting into each of the marketing channels, how much money you're making. And we have some investors that are doing radio ads on multiple radio stations. So they'll set up separate marketing numbers for each radio station to see which exact radio station is giving them the highest ROI. Is it station 1 or station 2? Same thing on the TV ads that you're running. You could use different phone numbers for different TV stations, like CBS versus ABC, for example, and you can see which TV station is giving the highest ROI. So that's kind of what you want to double down on. The marketing channel that's giving you the highest ROI, you want to double down on that. And the one that's not giving you a good ROI, you kind of want to start cutting that out. I would say, if anything, if you're making less than 3x on your money, I would really consider cutting that out of the business, or look into what might be the reason why you're not making at least 3x. So if you're spending $100 in direct mail, you're only making $200. I would really start considering if that's the best marketing channel for you in your business. Again, you have to look at it over a long period of time. You don't want to do one direct mail drop and then not get any deal out of it and say, all right, direct mail doesn't work. At the end of the day, I can tell you, looking at the data for REsimpli, companies that are using REsimpli, every single marketing channel works. Every single, we have people that are doing YouTube, Facebook, all really super creative things. If one thing that you can take away with marketing is, every marketing channel works, but stick with the one that, pick a marketing channel that you're going to stick with for the longest period of time. You don't want to pick direct mail for 1 month, then cold calling, then SMS, then PPC. You don't want to keep rotating, then nothing is going to work. Pick the marketing channel, set your budget for a year, and see, okay, this is my total spend that I can do in a year, and then spread that over 12 months and see how you want to spend that money. But at least you want to commit for minimum 6 months. If you're doing direct mail, I would say 4 mailings over a 6 months time period that you want to commit to. Same thing with cold calling. If you're doing, at least commit to 6 months of calling before you can really go in and say whether that marketing worked or did not work. Okay. And then once you start doing that, then there's some other KPIs you can look into, is how many leads do you need to get an appointment? How many appointments before you make an offer? How many offers result in a deal? How many leads result in a deal, and how many appointments result in a deal? These are a little bit more advanced KPIs. As you start scaling your business, you want to start looking into it. But at a minimum level, I would say at least look at cost per lead, cost per deal, and ROI. All right. So these are the 3 numbers, especially starting with ROI, that you want to keep in mind, and then look into kind of what's working, what's not working.